revealed a low turnout, though IEBC officials remain optimistic that the exercise will gather the much-needed pace.
We are hoping for more numbers. We know people will watu acha kungoja last minute, wakuje tu sahi mapema so that it will be easier also for the clerks. Because from day one, the number has been rising every single day.
The second phase of the exercise, which ends on February 6, 2022, targets 4.5 million new voters. Meanwhile, a section of religious leaders under the Dialogue Reference Group have cautioned political leaders against propagating hate speech ahead of the 2022 general election.
The convocation has followed the widespread impunity manifest by political actors as they engage early campaigns. Cases of hate speech, incitement and violence are increasing. If this trend is not stopped forthwith, the political actors will foment violence before, during, and after the 2022 elections.
The clerics also want the government to urgently address the deteriorating state of security in certain parts of the country.
The violence in Lamu in mind, Laikipia, Kerio Valley, Marsabit, Samburu, Isiolo, and the dozens of bodies retrieved from River Yala and other places are a pointer to this. We will seek to meet the Cabinet Secretary for Interior to discuss the security arrangements before, during, and after the elections.
And residents of Mwihoko in Githurai, Ruiru sub-county have staged a protest against the Kenya Power Company over the death of an electrician in the area. Felix Odhiambo had allegedly been sent to cut power supply to a house before his electrocution.
What was meant to be a routine job suddenly turned into a tragedy for the family of Felix Odhiambo, a freelance electrician in Ruiru, Mwihoko Estate. Felix had allegedly been assigned to assist a colleague disconnect a house nearby from power supply.
Alikuja kwa nyumba, kaniambia nimsaidie pikipiki, ameitwa na Mtua ni mwenyewe anafanya naye kazi ya Kenya Power. Nikampea funguo, akachukua pikipiki akakuja hapa.
Locals say Felix was before falling to the ground bleeding from the nose, ears and mouth.
Kukaa kidogo ndo jirani wake akakuja saa kwa nyumba kuniambia yule jamaa wako ile design yenye amekuja ana nose bleed, anatoa damu kwa mdomo na mapua, hebu enda uone ni nini mbaya umpeleke hospitali. Jisikia ukimuita ni macho tu anafungua anafunika. That was the response to.
The residents accused the Kenya Power of negligence, saying that the death could have been avoided. Annette says the husband was the family's sole breadwinner and is demanding compensation from Kenya Power.
Na ndiye nilikuwa natengemea sababu hii kazi ndio mimi imeniweka, alikuwa ametuweka vizuri, alikuwa ndiye kila kitu kwangu. Na venye nilisikia ayupo, mimi si kujua hata penye pahali niko, nilistukia tu nimebebwa nikapelekwa kwa nyumba.
Nominated Senator Isaac Mwaura called for a speedy investigation on the incident and urged Kenya Power to intervene in the matter.
Lazima tuhakikishe haki ya Felix Odhiambo imepatikana. Kutoa awekwe ndani, afunguliwe mashtaka na huyu mama alipwe. Kwa hivyo watu wa Kenya Power tunakuambia managing director, tuma watu wako safety engineer akuje angalie hii maneno.
And on matters education, at least 5 abandoned infants have been rescued by the Children's Office in Narok County. The Children's Office has subsequently appealed to parents who have challenges in raising their kids to visit the office instead of abandoning them at dangerous places.
5 children have been rescued by Narok County Children's Office after being neglected by their parents at various destinations in the county. According to County Children Officer Pilot Haimba, 2 newborn babies were rescued this week, while 3 others were rescued on diverse dates a fortnight ago. The latest incident involved a newborn child who was abandoned near the new county referral hospital gate on Tuesday night.
Watoto wanatupwa na wakiwa wanatakana wakiwa na wazazi wao. Na tunaona jambo lenye linachangia sana ni wale watoto wenye wanapatikana kama wazazi hawajajipanga.
Khaimba said the baby is currently admitted at the Narok County Referral Hospital, where the doctors have confirmed that he is in good condition.
Kwa hii wiki tumepata watoto wawili wale wenye wametupwa wakiwa chini ya wiki moja, na hawa watoto kwa saizi wako kwa hospitali. Wakimaliziwa shughuli ya hospitali tutaweza sasa kuwatafutia pahali ya kuwaweka mbadala.
Parents incapable of taking care of their children have been advised to report to Children's Office for help.
Hatari ya kutupa mtoto ni kwamba anaweza akanyakwa, anaweza akakuliwa na umbwa, anaweza akakuliwa na fisi. Area zetu ni area za fisi. So hatari ya kutupa mtoto, leta mtoto kwa ofisi yoyote ya serikali, hata kule kwa chief, na chief naye ataleta ripoti kwetu, ama leo ukuje kwa ofisi yetu, ama uende kwa nearest police station. Hiyo tutaichukulia kama sio kutupa. Hiyo ni mama kupeana mtoto, na hiyo inakubaliwa kisheria.
Ruth Wamboy for Lunchtime News.
We now cross over to Nakuru County, where County Government of Nakuru has rolled out an 80 million shillings project aimed at reducing vandalism on fiber optic cables in the city's central business district. Nakuru City Manager Gitau Thabanja says the initiative will involve installation of surveillance systems and closed-circuit television camera.
Nakuru County Government is working on improving its surveillance system on security. The region's county government is working on saving the fiber optic cables from vandalism. Nakuru City Manager Gitau Thabanja says the county is spending 80 million shillings to construct telecommunications channels aimed at reducing fiber optic cuts.
As the communication company comes and want to lay their cables, they have to excavate. That has been disturbing the corridors and also interfere with the businesses time and again. So what we are doing, we are having a permanent solution to this.
The ducts will thereafter be shared by all providers, including Safaricom, Airtel and Telcom Kenya. The channels will also be used to install closed-circuit television, CCTV cameras and street light cables along Kenyatta Avenue, Mburu Gishua and Moi Roads.
In future, if you want to put your cables, you want to lay your cables, you only just pay the city, you pay the county, and then you are given permission to put or to lay your cables along the duct that you are doing.
Gitau says the project is in line with the central government's national broadband strategy aimed at, among other things, to reduce the cost of doing business by ensuring that operators share infrastructure.
Kama hivyo wanasema ni drainage na fiber itatusaidia.
The county government is doing very well. Tunawashukuru, lakini also wako na some kind of order now. These things are supposed to be done. Irene
Mchuma, Odim, The Lunchtime News.
Residents of Gichugu constituency, Kirinyaga County, have welcomed the construction of a 55-kilometer road in the region. The road network will link all the wards in the constituency and ease movement of people and goods.
Gichugu Member of Parliament Robert Githinji says the road, which has for a long time been impassable, will boost the agricultural activities in the area.
Hii barabara ni kilomita 53 na kulingana na zile makaratasi tumepewa na ministry, ile budget imepewa, itagharimu takriban shilingi bilioni 2. Kwa hivyo ni mradi mkubwa na utaweza kusaidia wakaaji wa Gichugu kwa njia kubwa sana.
He called on the contractor to consider recruiting local human resource. Njuki Ward Member of County Assembly Frederick Ndambiri Fundi lauded the national government for the project, urging locals to work closely with the contractor.
Tumeongea na site engineer na tumejadiliana naye na tumesikizana. Vijana wetu wa Jokene lazima wajumuizwe pale kazi inatakikana. So vijana wetu wajitahidi, na ni vizuri tumeongea tena na yeye, amesema raw materials, ukiwa ni pale mnajua mara mwiko Jokene ni vizuri msikizane na yeye ili material mingi za zenye tunataka kutengeneza hii njia zitoke huko Jokeni, watu wetu wapate pesa na wapate kitu kwa mfuko.
Residents who turn up for the launch praised the project, terming it a game changer in the transport of agricultural products.
Hii barabara itatusaidia sana kwa sababu mambo ya transport itakuwa sawa. Tutakuwa tunatokea manyumbani vizuri, tutakuwa tunapeleka vitu vyetu sokoni vizuri kwa sababu kuna wakati hatukuwa tuende na hii barabara.
Hii barabara itatusaidia sana kwa kiuchumi, mkilima vitu zako kama mboga, nyanya, tutakuwa natoka hapa napeleka baba pia ya maembu, itakuwa na njia rahisi sana kupitia hapa.
And poor turnout continues to characterize voter registration exercise in Kiambu County on the 5th day of mass registration by the National Electoral Body. Githunguri Sub-County Registration Officer Hanson Mugo says his area of jurisdiction, 300 voters have registered in a zone of 600,000 eligible voters.
Teething problems which are very normal. One of the challenges we're experiencing is the voter apathy, and this is common, you know, the 5 wards. Another challenge we have is also the youth are complaining that they do not have IDs.
It's pathetic because our people are not yet out to register. There is voter apathy, and we are trying to talk to our youth, to our women, to the society to come up and register.
And in Meru County, the Meru County government and Eden Reforestation have signed a memorandum of understanding to plant 3.8 million trees by the year 2030. According to Meru Governor Kiraitu Murungi, the county has already gazetted a number of hills and will benefit from the campaign. The county government is working with Kenya Forestry Research Institute to get the right seedlings. This is in line with the county's Vision 2040 of ensuring at least 30% forest cover in the region.
So forestry, comparative level compared to the other counties, because I think they're trying to achieve a national average of 10% tree cover in the country. Meru, we are around 18%.
We have so much in common. We're standing together, looking towards the same vision, looking in the same direction, and willing to walk with each other as we try and accomplish those things. And just, I think we can go far. And it seems you have a very capable and excited and very competent team.
We have a vision of establishing a nursery in every ward, and we have 45 wards.
Livestock breeders and feed markers want the government to lift the ban on genetically modified products that are vital in the manufacture of animal feed to help reduce the rising prices. The millers have to that effect called on the Ministry of Agriculture to investigate the high import costs and lift the ban. The rising cost of production has forced up to 50% of manufacturers to close shop amid low demand from farmers due to pricing. According to Kenya Feed Manufacturers Chairperson John Gathogo, the cost of animal feeds has subsequently gone up across all the meal types, which are now retailing at an average of 100 shillings more than the previous cost.
Whatever we are getting regionally, that is Uganda, Tanzania, Malawi and Zambia, is non-GMO, but it's not available. So what has happened in the other countries, India, Chinese and all that, they actually flocked in the region, opting out everything that is there. So Kenyans, we are left suffering, and the only way we can actually get materials to produce our feeds is from the global space.
During the COVID,
The schools were closed. Hotels, who are our best customers, they closed. So during that time, we even lost the cows because we are not feeding them properly. So we incurred problems with the mastitis and other diseases.
A bag of maize, which has been going for about 2,500, is now going for about 3,400 and still going up. And we don't see any solution at the end of this all. The same to soya. Soya, last year we were buying at around 60 shillings, is now about 120 shillings and not available.
And on that note, we take a very fast commercial break on Lunchtime News, but more when we return. Don't go away.
Mchezo bwana, nani alikuwekea hiyo pondi?
Ni Mikaeli.
Unasikia? Natuliza wewe, ni lini ulianza kukula mtoto yangu lini?
Namkula yeye ni sakura, namkula yeye ni sakura. Nipige saa hii, nipige. Mimi nakwambia tu sijakula, unaninusa mdomo, unaninusa.
Sasa unanusa mdomo ndio ufanye
mimi maki.
Si ndio? Na madaktari ni watu wa KWS. Kwa sababu yeye mwenyewe na kiongozi yake hawezi ona huyo mtoto ni kama aligwara na taiga. Anamuzika kama nani wewe? Mtoto kwa nini anatudanganya mtoto?
Do you have a news story to share with KBC? Get in touch swiftly on email news@kbc.co.ke or call 0723-892-654 or 0734-780-124.
The Kenya health policy seeks to transform the country into an African medical hub. These will involve the construction of new hospitals as well as the acquisition of state-of-the-art equipment. Where are we in the implementation of this policy?
When we started even the idea of the hospital, we wanted a referral hospital. We wanted a referral hospital where other levels are referring people to a level 6 hospital. And we have been able to attain that. We unless it's an emergency, you will not find people just walking in.
This week on Inside Government, we talk to the chairperson of Kenyatta University Teaching, Referral and Research Hospital, Professor Olive Mugenda, on how the policy is being implemented and how the hospital is helping in the implementation of the same, right here on KBC Channel 1.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with Lunchtime News. It is time now for business. Plans to market the East African community as a single tourism destination have been on the cards for several years now. Despite this, each member state has been undertaking promotion and marketing of tourist sites individually. Tourism Cabinet Secretary Najib Balala is calling for synergies that would help attract more tourists to East Africa. In this week's edition of the EAC Integration, we explore the hospitality industry.
EAC member countries have severally jointly participated in international expos, marketing tourist sites in the regional bloc. This fueled the need to collectively promote and market EAC as a single tourism destination, with Kenya, Uganda and Rwanda in the year 2014 launching a single tourist visa.
So far it's easy. Between Kenya, Rwanda and Uganda, we have the uni visa for foreigners. but we have not seen any problems of traveling. Again, the use of ID, it is not across the board. It is in some areas, which is Uganda, we have done with IDs, but yet we are yet to do it with the neighboring countries as well.
However, EAC member states continue to market themselves as ideal tourist destinations. This has prompted Tourism Cabinet Secretary Najib Balala to renew calls on the collective marketing of the region in an initiative that would see member states reap from synergizing their efforts.
But any country that succeeds in tourism or in visitor arrivals must be supported by the region. And that's why we are looking at Kenya, at Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, Ethiopia, and Tanzania to be our biggest supporters in the region.
In 2020, EAC received about 2.16 million international tourists compared to about 7.05 million in 2019. The drastic reduction in arrivals is blamed on restrictions imposed by key tourist source markets to contain the spread of coronavirus. Individually, EAC member states are focusing on enhancing the capacity of their national carriers as well as improving the capacity of their airports, mainly to serve holidaymakers and business travelers.
The most important thing is when a client comes in is airport. And if airport is not going to be efficient, we are going to have a major problem of increasing our tourists. Not only tourists, but our investors, our business people to come to the country.
This comes in the wake of a push for the implementation of the Open Skies policy.
We have seen our neighbors in Ethiopia, they have a brand new airport. Rwanda is working on a brand new airport. Tanzania already has a brand new airport. So Kenya must have a brand new airport if we want to be effective in this. The other thing which is also we are receiving a lot of complaints is the e-visa. The efficiency of getting visas to come into the country has become a problem in the last 1 year. Before, initially, it was very efficient. Within 2-3 minutes, it was efficient. Now it can take even a month, and you cannot get your visa. And that has been a major complaint we are receiving from visitors coming into the country.
Despite commitments by EAC partner states on liberalization of access to air transport, the domestic air transport sector remains protected, resulting in increased transport costs. Kenya is expanding the Ukunda and Malindi airports to accommodate larger aircrafts, as well as upgrading services at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. Regina.
Away from that, aloe vera farming is becoming the mainstay of farmers in Barsaloi, Samburu County, who took a chance with the crop. Their product portfolio increased after they were sponsored by the Kenya Wildlife Service on a value addition tour to Baringo County. Their fortunes changed when they leveraged e-commerce and gained access to the Chinese market. Teresa Mutai reports.
Aloe vera, which takes around 18 to 24 months to mature, can usually be harvested up to 4 times per year. An average of 60,000 kilograms can be harvested per acre annually. Unlike maize, aloe vera is a very low maintenance plant and does very well in arid and semi-arid regions. This has brought new hope to Barsaloi residents as the crop is lifting many households out of poverty as they plant the crop for cash. The aloe vera leaves are first harvested, then the liquid is scrapped off to the barrels. The liquid is then boiled until it solidifies and then sold in kilograms.
Kuna watu ambayo wanafanya kazi ya kushamusha. Sasa wakati unanyesha mvua kama sasa, hao nakuja hao nafuna na katakata sasa na kutega maji yake na kuenda kuchamusha.
50 farmers from 17 villages in the region started the venture in 2006. Lumajana Leraman, the pioneer of aloe vera farming, said that after the tour by KWS, they started growing aloe vera on 17 farms in organized groups. But there was a challenge in finding the right market for their produce.
So shida yetu, changamoto yetu ilikuwa ni market. So ndio nikakuja kwa Alibaba, nika scroll tu kwa internet watu wote wenye anakuanga dealers wa aloe, nika contact hawa. Sasa hivyo mpaka sasa market ikaanza kufungua.
In 2020, they got more demand from the Chinese companies and sold up to 30 tons of aloe vera. He urged more residents to join the venture in order to produce enough for export.
Na pia itafutue nursery bed, mahali yenye tunasaweka nursery yenye watu wanasanunua seedlings. Ndio kila mtu mwenye anataka kuweka shamba yake anaenda kununua seedlings, isaidia pia sustainability ya market.
Simon Lerapiti started aloe farming when he joined hands with his village mates to plant 5,000 seedlings. During harvest, he earns 10% of total income generated from aloe vera that is sold from his 30-acre piece of land.
Kwa hivyo sasa faida yangu hapa iko faida kwa sababu wakija kufuna basi lazima mimi napata pesa hapo.
Agriculture officers in the area advised farmers to plant high-quality seeds of aloe vera that can mature fast in order to earn an increased income.
I want to urge the county government through the Department of Trade, if they can look for market for these farmers so that they can be selling direct to the farmers instead of using the brokers.
The farmers say the lack of knowledge on how to modernly harvest aloe vera is a challenge.
Tunafuna tu locally, labda kama kuna teknolojia yenye inaweza kutusaidia, modern way ya kukata na pia modern way ya kushimsha. Tungependa tu kujua modernity way ya kuharvest na pia ya kushimsha.
Reporting for Lunchtime News, I am Teresa Mutai.
Away from that, at least 48 residents of the old Pangani County houses who were vacated the houses to pave way for construction of modern houses in 2019 have been allocated the houses promised to them by the government. Nairobi Metropolitan Service Director for Housing and Urban Renewal, Marion Rono, says the former occupants were prioritized in house allocation and offered an opportunity to choose their preferred apartments ahead of other buyers. She says the county comprehensive urban renewal program in Pangani involves construction of 14,000 housing units, 3,000 market stalls and other social amenities.
We also have another 10 estates that includes Woodley, we have Bahati, we have Jericho, we have Lumumba, we have Ziwani, we have Embakasi, Kariobangi North and another 3, which in the next 2 months or so will be breaking ground.
The project is expected to be complete in June 2023. So far, Block 1 is actually 99% ready. We are only waiting for the lifts to be put in and people can move in.
And now we want to take you to Migori County, where CS Musheru is currently speaking. Let's listen into that.
How many of you are from Migori County? Many? Maybe about 10%. I know for sure none of you voted for the president. Sindio? 2017, and I think it's my friend here, Junet, you blocked the county for IBC coming to vote. Mnakumbuka? There were 4 counties that I think they are still waiting for the election. Sinikweli? Because at that time vita ilikuwa juu kabisa. It was very serious. So why did I come today? Other than making sure that it's continuation of what we started in Nairobi. It's that today I am here with Mheshimiwa Junet and even Mheshimiwa from Kuria West here. And nobody is complaining. County Commissioner is relaxed, he's taking notes. If this was 2017, it would have been a very different experience. In fact, we would never have landed here, leave alone the car. Sinmunajua. But now we can. Why is that? Peace. Na hiyo peace inaitwa handshake. Me, I can see the results of that because of handshake, I can come here and engage with you. You can all come here from everywhere in the country and enjoy. And since we were lucky to fly over, I have seen a lot of development. Mheshimiwa is telling me, unaona ile barabara ile? That is handshake. Because when you have peace, you are able to reason. Hata anasema hata airstrip iko. These are developments that are going on because we've come together, we can think, we can deliberate, and we can engage. I'm even hearing now for the resident coordinator, Daktari, you're offering him even a wife. So this is a lot of progress. Yeah? They haven't offered me Daktari, who knows? Yeah? So this is a lot of progress, and I am very happy about it. I have a speech which I'm going to quickly read, but at least I have to say that the one thing that is important, especially for you young people, is that you must maintain your curiosity. You must have no fear. Your curiosity to understand, to learn, to meet other people, to engage with others, share ideas, that is what you're doing. That's how you innovate. That's how you come up with new things. And that's how the country progresses, the community progresses, the family progresses, and you progress. But you can't do that without courage. So you must have courage to take up the challenge, to be able to innovate, to engage, to talk. And you cannot do any of that without peace and without the ability to interact with others, knowing that you're safe in your country. So the county commissioner was very clear on what he's doing, but as I say, I'm very pleased that he's here with us, not worried about if anything is going to happen around us. So let me read my speech. Dr. Stephen Jackson, the UN resident coordinator. Let me see. I'm not sure. Some of these people here are not. Yes, Professor Chacha Nyaigoti, the chairman of WUSPAC Advisory Group, an eminent persons group and chairman for the Commission for University Education. Mr. Roy Sasaka, Mohamed Abdullahi Eden, chairman of the Kenya University Deans of Students, all distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and all comrades. Comrade power. It is a great honor for me to be invited to the second National Students' Convention on Youth, Peace and Elections. It is quite encouraging that the Universities and Colleges Students' Peace Association of Kenya is creating a platform for peace and elections conversation for youth, particularly among students in institutions of higher learning. I dare say so because in the past, peace and university students could rarely be mentioned in the same breath. Indeed, change happens. From the onset, allow me to thank the IFIS, this is the International Foundation for Electoral Systems, for funding this noble initiative. It is an affirmation and acknowledgement of the important role the youth continue to play in nation building. Universities have been referred to as the melting pots of cultures. This is where ideas are hatched, where intellectuals infuse their ideas and ideals to the next generation of leaders.
ICT CS Joe Musheru, who is speaking there in Migori in Kuria, of course encouraging youth in tertiary institutions to come out and register to be voters. That story, of course, will be coming in our subsequent bulletin. But right now, let's carry on with our business news. Traders operating between Kajiado and Narok counties are said to enjoy free movement of goods following the establishment of the Narok-Kajiado Economic Bloc. The county assemblies of the two counties passed an act to legalize formation of Narok-Kajiado Economic Bloc that will help to create systems that will effectively utilize resources within the two counties.
Narok and Kajiado counties share similarities in cultural values, tourism resources, and agriculture. With the formation of the economic bloc, residents will enjoy an inter-county one-stop shop to facilitate free movement of goods. The bloc is meant to create systems and frameworks that will ensure collaboration in policy formulation, resource mapping and management, marketing and branding strategies, and access to credit for increased investment. The bloc will also seek to empower vulnerable groups, create value addition strategies, and the cohesion and integration of communities. Leaders from the two counties say there is need to focus on value addition as the next critical tool for economic empowerment to the region.
The Assembly able representation here that we really consider proper financing for this economic bloc. It is true that many partners will come in, but we also must feel the pinch of ownership, and we must realize that it is actually ours.
But most of the time, because we don't add value to most of the products that we have, we find that our people do not benefit as required from the resources that we have. And NACAIB coming into place goes to show that in the coming years, our people will immensely benefit from the resources that we host.
The counties have a wealth in livestock production that, when tapped, can boost revenue.
So you don't get that borehole information because now it is.
Elsewhere, the Council of Governors is seeking ways to exploit resources in arid and semi-arid lands, which have been impacted by the climate change. Governors from Asal counties, led by West Pokot Governor John Lenyangapuo, said climate change has greatly contributed to the many disasters witnessed in the region, including drought leading to heightened food insecurity.
Therefore, there was a need for the Asal Committee of Council of Governors to work with the State Department of Asals and our development partners to develop key papers that we so needed to move forward, especially in these areas where we need to focus in the Asals and produce food and make land habitable for our people.
Mika Boyan, the Principal Secretary, State Department of Asal, noted that there is a huge potential that can be tapped in the arid and semi-arid areas, meaning there is need to develop resilience programming framework in order to cushion the people from climate-related disasters.
We have several stressors which are affecting our communities in this region. Of late, we've had back-to-back disasters. So what we are doing now is to come up with a resilience programming framework to cushion our people to the stressors which have mentioned and anything else that will come.
Reporting for Lunchtime News, I am Teresa Mutai.
And in international business news, British retail sales slumped in December after consumers did much of their Christmas shopping earlier than usual in November, and many people stayed at home due to the spread of the Omicron coronavirus variant. Economists said the scale of the hit bolstered the expectations, and the world's fifth biggest economy shrunk last month under the strain of Omicron and new government restrictions to slow its spread. Here are the details of this and other stories making headlines across the globe.
Sales volumes in Britain fell by 3.7% from November, the biggest fall since January of last year, when the country was under a coronavirus lockdown. Compared with December 2020, sales volumes were down by 0.9%. The Office for National Statistics said retail sales remain stronger than before the pandemic, with over a quarter of sales now made online. Economists say the surge in Omicron cases in the run-up to Christmas may have caused the economy to shrink by 0.5% in December, or possibly more. Retail sales are expected to recoup the hit between January and March as the government lifts its COVID restrictions. Meanwhile, the volcanic eruption and tsunami on Saturday cut communication lines between Tonga and the rest of the world. But the country's largest telecom company says it now has a satellite link for international calls. Digicel has confirmed that limited international calling capabilities have been restored in Tonga, and that it is working on improving capacity. The telco CEO said the capacity can allow up to 200 calls at the same time, adding that many families have been talking with each other for a long time. There have been 2 breaks in the underwater cable, which is so critical for communications and the internet in Tonga. The CEO said it could take up to 4 weeks to repair them. Finally, Toyota has warned customers in Japan that they will have to wait for up to 4 years to take delivery of its new Land Cruiser SUV. The world's biggest car maker says the delay is not related to the global chip shortage or the supply chain crisis. However, it refused to comment on the reasons behind the long delivery time. Toyota says it is slowing production at up to 11 plants in Japan due to rising COVID-19 infections among its workers and at parts suppliers. There has been strong demand for the new model of the Land Cruiser, and that Toyota is considering ramping up production in the medium and long term. Launched in 1951, the Land Cruiser is Toyota's longest-selling vehicle.
And in the local scene, school head teachers in Kaloleni, Kilifi County have been warned against accepting books which have not been approved by the Ministry of Education and that do not comply with the new school curriculum. Kaloleni Sub-County Education Director Josephine Lometa said most of the books are being donated by politicians as a campaign tool.
Speaking at Mahenzo Primary School in Kaloleni, Kilifi County, Lometa expressed concerns that politicians in the area have been littering schools with books which are outdated and do not conform with the new competence-based curriculum.
Usikubali uchukua vitabu ambavyo havijahalalishwa na KICD kupitia kwa Ministry of Education.
Kaloleni Member of Parliament Paul Katana called on the Ministry of Education to take a lead role in controlling what is distributed in schools. Kaloleni Assistant County Commissioner Anne Kinyanjui has in the meanwhile urged politicians to sensitize the locals against killings of the elderly, which is becoming a security issue.
Uende waambie wale wabaya wale kwamba wazee tumesema waishi, waachwe waishi.
366 wasichana 377.
Watch, Speaker of the National Assembly Justin Muturi has told of presidential aspirants who have been implying that Mount Kenya region is slotted for the deputy president in the upcoming elections. Speaking while addressing Democratic Party grassroots delegates in Juja town, Muturi dismissed claims that he was warming up to join the United Democratic Alliance as a possible running mate to Deputy President William Ruto.
Presidential hopeful Justin Muturi, while meeting the Democratic Party delegates in Juja town, said he will not agree to be anyone's running mate and dismissed claims of joining William Ruto's UDA party as his running mate. He at the same time dismissed the recent presidential election opinion polls, which have shown DP William Ruto as the leading presidential aspirant.
I think let everybody have the freedom and the liberty to market themselves unhindered. I personally condemn violence, political violence in the strongest terms possible, and call upon the security agencies to be on the lookout, especially at this time as we head towards the penultimate date of 9th of August. But more importantly, during this period, let there be fairness, let everybody be accorded the respect that they deserve. Nobody should be prevented from marketing themselves in any corner of this country.
Elsewhere, a section of Busia residents have cautioned the ODM leader Raila Odinga against handpicking any aspirant in the county. The residents allege that they are signs to endorse Busia women rep Florence Mutua as the Busia gubernatorial candidate in the upcoming ODM April nominations.
Last time, the mistake you did is the same mistake you want to do here in Busia. Na sisi kama watu wa Busia raundi hii tunataka kuonyesha ya kwamba hatutakubali wewe nyinyi mnakutana watu wachache na mnatuchagulia kiongozi wetu wa hapa Busia.
Mnaweza jifungia kwa nyumba watu watatu na mnaamua kwamba ni fulani anaenda kupewa certificate. We are warning you. We are not tolerating this nonsense anymore. Tumepata uongozi mbaya kwa watu kujifungia kwa nyumba na kusema kwamba fulani anato.
Tunajua wakazi wote wa Busia wako na equal opportunity ya kupata nomination kwa chama cha ODM. Kitu ambacho ndugu zetu walisahau ni kuwa chama cha Busia haitaji direct nominations kwenye chama cha ODM.
And finally, wrangles have hit the UDA party nomination exercise in Laikipia East after a section of aspirants claimed they were not involved. The aspirants dismissed a meeting called by area member of parliament Amit Dedi, who they claimed endorsed some aspirants allied to him.
Hatutaki chama hiki chetu cha UDA kiharibiwe jina, kiharibiwe sifa. Maana chama hiki watu wamekiamini kwamba ni chama cha watu. Ni chama cha hasla. Kwa hivyo kikiwa ni chama cha watu, ni chama cha hasla, hakuna njia nyingine ambayo itakuwa kwamba tumeanza kutumia dictatorial tendencies.
Sisi si watu ya kupangwa, sisi si watu ya kusturiwa, sisi si watu ya kusturiwa. Sisi ni Wanakenya, tuko na haki yetu, tunajua sisi ni wa Samayo Ruto, na hakuna kura ya mtu anabebea, abebe yake, aache kutusumbua.
So respect wanawake kwa haki na dhati, na tuokuogopi, tuko kwa field kama wamama. We are supporting wale wamama wote wamesimama, na musitishike wamama wenye wamesimama.
Timothy Kipnoso for Lunchtime News.
An 18-year-old man is desperately searching for his home, suspected to be in Kericho County after living in Uganda for 5 years. Ezekiel Chemonges from Kipsigis community claims he was abducted by a Ugandan lady who later adopted him as her son since she had no children. He alleges that he was then taken to Uganda by the said lady, where he lived until recently.
Akaniambia siku moja tulikuwa shamba. Akaniambia we si mama akwana kusaa we alikuibiwa Kipsigis. Nikaambia yeye Kipsigis wapi? Akasema sijui hata sielewi mzuri ni wapi, sababu yeye alikuwa ananiambia. Na mimi nilikuwa naye najua ni nyumbani ni Kipsigis, sababu alinipitishia majani chai.
Anasema alipata accident na akawachwa peke yake. So baada ya hiyo jamii ya yule mama wakaambia aondoke kwa sababu hapo si kwao, yule hakuwa mama yake. Huyu kijana akaniambia kuna askari jirani pale aliambia huyu mama aliambia kwao ni Kipsigis kule Kenya, na alikuwa amemchukua akuwe mtoto wake.
Kijana, kusema ukweli imeniuma sana kama mama, kwa sababu hata mimi niko na watoto na sijui next inaweza happen kwa watoto wangu, na mimi najaribu kuambia mama wenzetu tafadhali tuelimishe watoto wetu wakiwa wadogo, hata tujaribu kuwaambia vile tunaitwa, kuwafunza mimi naitwa nani na baba anaitwa nani, ili hata mtoto akitoweka ama akipotea aweze kukumbuka baba yake jina na mama yake jina na hata mahali ambapo tunaishi.
So any family in Kipsigis or the tea growing areas of Kipsigis land who might have lost a young person, a juvenile, then you can contact the OCS at Kericho Police Station, where we have transferred this Ezekiel Chemonges. Ezekiel Chemonges now is 18 years and is really looking for his roots, looking for the parents.
Outgoing Eastern Region Commissioner Isaiah Nakuru has urged locals to maintain peace as the county enters the political campaign period. The country enters the political campaign period. Nakuru said peace and stability was the main pillar for any meaningful development in any country.
Sure that we have a peaceful country. We have a peaceful country before elections, during election and after elections.
I'm looking forward to work with the wananchi of this area and the leaders so that we can move this county, this region forward.
It is time now for sports, and the Kenya Basketball Premier League will enter the quarter-final stage this weekend at the Nyayo National Stadium Gymnasium and Makande Indoor Arena. Reigning league champions Ulinzi Warriors will face Lakeside, while Equity Bank will take on Africa Nazarene University in the ladies category.
High-flying Ulinzi Warriors, who have had a good run this season, will be aiming to replicate the same performance that saw them back the league title last season. Ulinzi Warriors will take on Lakeside in the quarterfinals, while Equity Bank will face Terra at the Nyayo National Stadium Gymnasium. Eldones Platinum will host former champions KPA, while Thunder will be up against Blades. In the ladies category, Equity Bank University, KPA will face Strathmore University. University of Nairobi Dynamites will be up against Storms, while Bohabob Blazers will face Niosasa. The semi-finals are slated for 5th to 6th of next month.
And Gambia qualified unbeaten to the round of 16 at the ongoing Africa Cup Nations after scoring a stoppage time winner against Carthage Eagles of Tunisia last night. Meanwhile, defending champions Desert Foxes of Algeria were bundled out of the competition after losing 3-1 to Ivory Coast in Douala.
Goalkeeper Babukar Gaye saved Sevedin's Jasiri's penalties as Tunisia missed from the spot for the third successive game. Gambia capitalized as Musa Barrow's 25-yard free kick struck the bar before Abi Jallow hit an injury time winner. Tunisia finished third, while debutant Gambia second, and will now face Guinea Sila National. Tunisia will face the Super Eagles of Nigeria in the knockout stages. Nigeria is the only team with a 100 record in the competition. Elsewhere, needing a win to stay alive, Algeria